Uh-oh, everybody's picking on Gen Z. Is it deserved? Hello, this is Chart GPT today. You know, everybody's picking on Gen Z. There's always all these articles about how they do this, that, the other, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm probably going to do a little bit of that here today. I don't know if it's justified or not, but let's take a look at some of the numbers and see if it is. You know, it is. Gen Z is probably the first generation raised on the internet, social media. Kind of a joke here. You know, they don't read books, they read everything online, and they're always going on with their mobile telephones glued to their hands and their eyes. Here's kind of a chart that kind of shows this, even beating out the millennials. We thought the millennials were bad. Well, Gen Z's even more hooked to their telephones. You know, and of course it's all about social media. They're on Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, a little bit of X, and kind of some of the attributes that they do. So they're really spending all their time. You wonder, well, where is Gen Z? Well, they're on their telephones. They got their heads buried in the screens. So here's some of the attributes of Gen Z's. They're more educated in terms of what's going on in the world, like us. They're under the influence. They always are worried about what the influencers will say, so they're heavily influenced. They're more demanding. They want to stand out. They're looking for experiences. And they're all into this pro-social responsibility, inclusion, diversity, etc., etc. You've heard the story, going woke. So, of course, recently there was an article out by Jodie Foster, and she's kind of woke herself, and she's basically saying Gen Z can be really annoying to work with. 38% of employers surveyed said they avoid hiring them, and 20% of employers said they had a recent college grad bring a parent to the interview. 47% of employers say they had to fire a recent college grad, which would be those Gen Zers. And you can see the numbers there. 61% say they're frequently late to work. Missing deadlines, 60%. 53% say the young who works are often late to meetings as well. So it's just not very responsible according to the employees. But then on the other hand, did they say that about the boomers when they were that age? Here's some charts on this from intelligent.com. Action employers will avoid hiring recent college graduates, which is good for the boomers and the older people because they want to hire those people instead. You can see the numbers there. They'd rather hire people from older generations than the new, but isn't that kind of always kind of true? The young don't quite have the skill sets yet. Some of the things on the interview is kind of interesting. Struggling with eye contact. That's quite interesting because they're spending all their time looking at influencers, looking at mobile phones and YouTube videos and TikTok videos. When it comes to real people, they can't seem to focus, which is quite interesting. And you can see those numbers there. They seem to struggle with social interaction, even though they're on social media, kind of exemplifying those points being made by Jodie Foster. Here's a chart that kind of triggered me. Employers find recent college graduates, and at the top of the list there they have, are entitled and get offended easily. You know, everybody's a racist, a bigot, and they're always ready to criticize, and they're very entitled. So I come up with this in this kind of statement. I don't know if you agree with it. Gen Z receive the most, have given the least, while being the most critical of others. Of course, when we say that, is that true? Have they received the most? So is it all this founded, all this kind of criticism founded? First of all, Gen Z is the smallest generation, so there's going to be less of them. So if you're looking for new workers, young workers, there's less of them, so you're going to have to fight through all the issues. Otherwise, you're just not going to find that many workers. Maybe AI will take care of them. But here's the thing here you have to look at. Each generation is getting poorer, and so when you look at these Gen Zers, they're looking at this picture, and they may not understand this chart, but they feel it. So they're going to be more social because they're not implicated in the economy. So they're going to depend on government. They're going to be more socialist, of course they are, because they've got no stake in the economy. And of course, remember, who created that society? We did, right? The baby boomers did, and Gen X is creating that society. So when you're going to blame them, you got to blame yourself, because who taught them how to be what they are? And of course, they have to live through something that we hadn't had to live through earlier, at least not to the same degree, as the doomsday clock gets closer and closer to midnight. So what do you think? Is it an unjustified stereotype? Is it always happen every generation? Take our online poll and give us your opinion on whether or not justified the critiques of the Gen Z generation. And take a look at the AI as they try to defend some of the positive attributes of Gen Z. If you take a look at the post link in the description box below the video, you can check that out. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe.